Hi, folks. Welcome back to Pop Pop Fizzle. I'm Jeff.
I'm Heidi.
And we are back with another episode of Farscape.
Woo!
Episode 20 of Season 1, if you can believe that, which means we've only got 2 episodes after we finish this one before we're done with Season 1.
Oh, my goodness.
It has been a thrill ride.
It has. And also, I'm really excited because the last one was a cliffhanger. It was called The Nerve. Mm-hmm. And when we last left our great crew and family, John was stuck somewhere.
Great crew and family. That's an AT&T plan, right?
Sure. It might be Verizon. Not sponsors.
Nope.
But yeah, I was gonna say faithful crew, but I was like, no, that's on the
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale.
right. I think that's the SS Minnow, so
Right.
that's not what we're talking about either. No, but yeah. So when we last left everyone, we were split up, and Chiana got the whatever the DNA sample needed to fix Aeryn, which is fantastic. We got to meet up with PK Tech Girl again, which was also very fortuitous. But John...
What's her name again? Jelaine?
Jelaine,
Okay.
something. Sorry, PK Tech Girl. Anyway, but we left John back on... just somewhere other than with the crew. I don't know if they were on a planet or if they were on a cruiser or where they were really. I don't remember that part, but we did get to meet somebody that I wasn't expecting to meet this early on because I didn't know when he actually showed up. I really thought he was elsewhere in the series.
And who would that be, honey?
That would be Scorpius. So very exciting to meet him in this because this is the first time he's shown up, and
he quickly called Crace, only to have absolutely no regard for what Crace wanted.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, so Scorpius, I know, plays heavy in a lot of arcs coming, in coming seasons. So I'm really excited to meet him and know him from the beginning. So this is going to be, I want to see more. I'm really excited just because it was such a cliffhanger, and I was not expecting a cliffhanger from an episode 19 out of 22.
Now I'm going to go back as a non sequitur because we brought up Gilligan's Island for some reason. Go and look on YouTube for Tommy Prophet's Gilligan's Island. It's a dark cover of Gilligan's Island.
We just put a link in the bottom.
Yeah, we'll put a link down there, but check it out. Tommy Prophet has a fantastic Christmas album out right now. He's a great producer, and
not a
he
sponsor.
He does a lot of music for I think a lot of sports stuff. He does a lot of music for ESPN and whatever. But he's a fantastic producer, and he's got a new Christmas album out. But I just stumbled across this dark version of the Gilligan's Island theme that he put together. I forget who sings it for him, but it's fantastic. So we'll put a link down for that just because it's silly and fun.
Yeah, definitely lots of fun.
All right, so we're going to dive into Farscape. Now, as always, if you want to see the full unedited version of our reaction, you can find that on Patreon. That link is in the description. If you can't support us on Patreon or choose not to, whatever, that's certainly
cool.
your right. But if you want to do a one-time donation or support or whatever you want to do that, our Cash App info is down there as well. We don't expect it. It's just there in case you want to support us that way. And then really that's it. We are going to be doing some cool stuff with our podcast. There's a lot of new information out about some Marvel shows and Star Wars shows. So we're going to be doing a podcast on that within the next couple of days. Podcast link is always down in the description as well. If you haven't checked that out, feel free to do that.
But also want to really thank everyone again who has jumped on board watching our reactions. Our commenters have been thoughtful, kind of funny, and just really kind. So we're really happy to hear it from you guys. So thank you so much for jumping on board.
Yeah, and as much as I appreciate the thoughtful, because I really do. Some people are taking time to really write to us, and I appreciate that. We don't always, depending on what time of day I read the comment, I don't always have time to write back in depth to you, but I always try to respond when I can. And but I want to say, and I've said it before, but I want to say it again, I appreciate so much the fact that everyone who's been commenting is so kind to us and to the community at large. I appreciate that. We've got to hear about some fan interactions and those kinds of things. I love hearing that stuff. I know this is a year where, because of the pandemic, we haven't really been able to do the cons and the things that we like to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes we can't afford to do them in a normal year. But we have made that kind of something that we try to do every once in a while, just to have those engagements and to meet the people that we enjoy meeting. And it's always cool when we do those things, because we end up in line and we end up with people, talking to people while you're waiting in line for a long time. And I've had such sweet interactions with people, people holding my place in line to let me run to the bathroom, people, letting me know that somebody was having a photo op that wasn't scheduled, and, go check it out and do whatever. Yeah. It's always been really fun. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't bad actors out there, causing trouble places.
Not just actors, but like actual people too.
Yeah, I don't mean actors like acting, but I mean, yes, people making bad choices. You'll always find those in any large group of people, but by far, most of our interactions in that venue have been fantastic. Yeah. And, I was a little worried when we jumped on YouTube, because you do hear horror stories about comment sections and bad stuff or whatever. And maybe it's just the shows that we're picking to watch. Maybe they just have really good fan bases. But by far, we get more comments on Farscape than on almost anything. Yeah. And we appreciate that all of them have been kind and compassionate and decent to us. And that means a lot to us. It really keeps us wanting to put out more stuff for you, and wanting to engage with you in the comments. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we won't keep you waiting any further. We are diving in. What's this episode called again?
Hidden Memory.
A Hidden Memory. All right, so we're going to dive in. Episode 20. Here we go.
Starburst is not available, nor is propulsion. We will be fortunate just to maintain orbit.
But, pilot, I thought Moya was prepared for one more starburst.
She was, but no longer.
Oh.
She has gone into what appears to be full labor. Moya tells me this is not a natural birthing cycle. She's now certain that there's something wrong with her child.
Rise and shine, Sammy.
Everyone can block thoughts for a while, Crichton. But eventually, you'll tell the chair. I'm the only one who can block thoughts forever.
Are you?
John, keep your back to the camera. They can see, but they can't hear.
I remember. Did you get the peripheral to shoot Aeryn?
She only got it off the base. But I don't know if she made it back to Moya in time.
Who is that? Who are you talking to? It's friends. She can help us get out of here.
So they just leave Shauna and Rigel with the laboring Leviathan. That seems like...
Data stores indicate it may be best to get the offspring out as fast as possible.
How the yachts do we do that?
It says we can try blasting the Tranix with coolant from Moya's thermal chamber.
Then do it. I want this thing over with. I want to be still.
Rigel, you've got to stay calm during the birth.
I am calm. I've conceived hundreds of progeny. And those are only the official ones with my wife.
Oh, then you should know something about this. Oh, you should be able to help us.
I was never present at the birth.
Not one.
Loser.
Well, of course not.
Follow us.
John, when you get into the chair, just remember one thing.
What?
Remember when we kissed on the Zelbinian?
No, that's the thing unblocked.
Trust me.
I do trust you. I do.
Then remember the kiss.
Let me get into the chair, please. Get inside. Scorpius, let me get into the chair.
I'm going to enjoy ripping the truth out of you, Crichton.
Looking a little haggard there, Chris.
Yeah. That's not her face.
Nope.
I'm here to thank you.
Yeah? For what?
I've never been one of the elite. Did you know that? My parents were common farmers. I was shanghaied from their commune as a young boy. I rose through peacekeeper ranks on my wits and my hatred. With this wormhole information you've given me, I now have the power to rise where I should be.
Oh.
You don't actually believe any of that, do you?
That's a memory.
First found out about wormholes when I came through. I gave him the information disk in exchange for my life.
It's a lie!
Were you born on a farming commune?
Yes.
Yes.
Were you conscripted from it by the peacekeepers?
Yes, but...
How does Crichton know this?
Well, he must have stolen it from a database.
While he was in Security 3 containment.
Look, I don't know how he did it, but what you saw on there is not true.
Of course it's not.
But there's only one way to be sure. It is up.
Enter the
You
chair.
go in the chair.
Enter the chair. Oh. Oh. Okay. Big glowy head guy.
Well, you know, when you're glowing on the inside, sometimes you have to just let it out.
I'm able to give a few thoughts, that's all. What I know deep inside, peacekeepers will never see.
Fair enough.
Who is that?
My father. Turn it off!
Well,
He needs to picture himself kissing Jelena. That'd do it. If he did that, do you think the chair would show him offering the wormhole stuff to Scorpius? Is it just a round robin?
maybe.
Aeryn.
Gianna, tell me what you did for me.
Well,
Thank you.
not for you.
What are you doing here?
When the final days come, Luxons believe that the Quilter Blade will lead us to freedom.
I understand, Dago. Please forgive my curiosity.
There is another thing we can do for you.
What?
My Quilter Blade and I can cut stones for you.
Alrighty then.
Who is she?
That is the Radiant Aeryn son. How many peacekeepers do you know in this base?
You all right, Crichton?
Could be better.
How you doing?
I'm better now. Come on, we better go.
Interesting.
And now I know why you tried to fight the chair.
Uh-huh. There's one.
Are there any more barriers?
No, that's what he was fighting to hold.
And what Crichton saw about wormholes?
Is not in this captain's memory.
To give birth, Moya must equalize pressure with her outside environment.
You mean with space? What,
Uh-oh.
Moya has to make a vacuum into here?
Yes, I can't stop her.
How much time do we have?
I don't know. Maybe 80 microns.
80 microns?
What?
Well, where do we go?
My dens?
Oh, well, that's very lucky for you, isn't it, Provaco?
We can't get to you in 80 microns.
There are pressure tanks in Maintenance Base 6. I suggest you go. Go
Now.
now!
Run away!
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, no!
Oh, what was that? Nothing, eh? Just a bit of helium.
Helium.
Yes, I don't like being in confined spaces. I get nervous.
You're disgusting.
I order you.
You order me!
Bye.
You will never order me again.
I will track you down and kill you, Officer.
Chatty.
Blah, blah.
You know what I give you, Grace? Your life.
Spin in the chair.
I reacted exactly that way the first time I heard a boy band.
There's never been a Leviathan with weapons before, but we have a more immediate problem. Look, the birthing channel was not designed for this manner of offspring. It cannot fly free. It is panicking and starting to charge its weapons.
No.
Is he gonna shoot his way out of Moya?
I think so.
Well,
Pilot,
do something.
can you force an atmosphere I can breathe into that vent?
Yes. Yes, I think so.
Maybe I can climb down the internal shaft and cut a seam so the child can get itself free.
You'd better hurry.
Tell Moya to let the gun fire at a low blast level.
What?
I know it's crazy, but it's the only way. If we don't get this child out, it'll destroy Moya's bulkhead.
The offspring's free.
It's free.
How's Moya?
She's okay. We're okay.
This is fine.
We're all doing fine down here. How are you?
Shoot him, Jelena. Shoot him!
Oh, well.
Well, Yes, you needed to shoot first.
Did not shoot first.
We must get back to the transport pod. The firewall is dissipating.
Can't stop us with the offspring. We can't move very far at all.
Thank you, pilot. How's Jelena?
Not good.
What about Moya's child?
He's okay.
He?
It's a boy?
Yes?
A male. Excellent.
What kind of a beast is he?
It's different.
Do you think if things had been different, then you could have loved me?
So now we know his kiss kills people. We
Yes.
should probably refrain from that. Poor girl had to die on Gold LeMay. All right, that is it for another episode of Farscape.
Wow, that was a lot.
It was a lot. Heidi, your thoughts on the hidden memory?
There's so much going on in this one. Sorry, making all of the birth commentary here as a labor and delivery nurse. So sorry about all of that. I'm glad that they wrapped up a lot that they kind of left open in the last episode. I would hate to have stuff carrying on further into the rest of the season. I know that there's still much to go with 2 more episodes, but I enjoyed this episode. I liked being able to learn more about Stark. I like that Crace got a little bit of comeuppance. I like that I'm still confused as to why Zan was the one that went down on the planet too. And
Well, she said.
I mean, no, I know she said, but I feel like she would have been a little more helpful with the birthing process. But
Probably.
So that.
But you can't know everything in advance. So she made a choice to go in case Crichton's mind was so messed up that he needed her help.
Yeah.
And that left Moya in bad shape with just Rachel and Giada.
Those are they are not necessarily the most dependable members of the crew. Although
those two are a bad
combination.
No, I was going to say, the buddy cop show. They're the buddy cop show that I want to see. Just those two.
Just those two and their
patrolling
adventures.
the space highways.
The adventuring across the galaxy and
Getting into one misadventure after another.
Oh my gosh. No. We didn't see any DRDs. Aw. I am excited to see Moya's offspring. Obviously, this is she's kind of like a space whale. So they can't really do very much for a little bit. The little one has to kind of learn how to fly, learn how to starburst, I'm sure. Moya is going to want to protect him for a little bit and not want to, be far away from him while he's figuring out how to do those things. So
which puts her and the crew in a certain amount of jeopardy. Yeah.
But thankfully, they seem to be hidden from scans right now because of the scrambling that Jelena did. So that's good news. Full disclosure, I do know of this offspring, so I've been looking forward. Again, this is not something I expected. Her pregnancy was not something that I expected this early on in the series. So I know this kid, but I don't know much about him. I know his name is Talon. I know he's weaponized, very first one ever. I don't know who will ever fly him, be in control of him, or anything like that. I know he doesn't go with the crew for the series. I know that for sure. So it's going to be interesting to see what his role in everything else will be, at least this season, maybe seasons to come. Let's see. I don't know. I really enjoyed all of this episode. So I don't know what else to say right this second.
I like that not only did Jelena's presence, of course, it was helpful to our crew, but also I like that it put Aeryn and Crichton in a position to have to recognize that other people already know what they can't admit to themselves just yet.
Yeah.
So it puts them in a position where maybe they have to question themselves about some things.
Yeah.
But I like that, Aeryn in full on soldier mode's like, we don't have time for this. Whatever you said to him, that's y'all's thing.
Yeah.
Like leave me out of that.
Yeah.
But good stuff. Sad to see her go,
sure.
but,
I
feel
what,
like
the screen cap for this. Sorry, I just happened to notice the screen cap for this thing was John and Zahn over Jelena's body, and I was like, oh, that totally would have been a spoiler for me if I actually paid attention to it earlier. But hey, go me! I did not. I didn't even notice.
I will say that some of the questions that you have about Talon and about other things, those are going to be answered. But like you, again, Swiss cheese brain me. I also didn't remember when Talon came into play, and certainly didn't think it was in the first season. It's been, I believe, I've narrowed it down to, it's been like 8 years since I watched my way through this. And I think what happens is the further I've gotten away from it, the more it's all compressed itself into,
Farscape.
So I had convinced myself that I remembered mostly the last couple of seasons and not so much the first two, but it seems like I do remember, elements that I was thinking weren't coming for a while. That are actually happening in the first season.
I just want to know why I wasn't watching this 8 years ago. I mean, we were married.
Well, again, yes,
had children already. So,
but again, you had a day job at the time.
I did,
and the last time I watched it was after we had the DVDs. We did not have the Blu-rays yet, and I was watching with my oldest, and you were working. Is my guess.
Okay.
Because that would have been right around the time that, she wouldn't have been interested in this when I was watching it, originally when it aired. That wouldn't have been a thing.
For sure not.
But I wanted to share it with her when I could. And so I think I got the DVDs, and it just seemed like a good time to refresh my memory and to introduce her to it. So that's how we did it. But yeah, definitely good for me to dive into this again and see how faulty my memory is with some things, but also, see that a lot of what I love about this show was woven into even those early episodes, which I know we watched out of order, based on what the creators intended anyway. But still, early on, just seeing the character interaction, seeing them bond, seeing how those bonds have changed and grown stronger over episodes, I really didn't remember it all coming together and gelling so fast. And I feel like it wasn't unnaturally fast.
No, because...
but it just, but to see, the change in somebody like Dargo, to see him change into who he is, even at the end of the first season, he's a long way from who he was in that pilot episode.
We got at least a little bit of a timestamp there. It has been 6 months since Dargo knocked off that contraception thing on Moya, and that I feel like that was like maybe, I already forgot what episode that was, but so all together, and then we had that episode where we were looking at the human reaction, and it was said that John had been away from Earth for 7 months. So we know that this is probably somewhere between 7 and 9 months of time, and that's a good amount of time stuck in a place with a few people to really get to know them. Right. So they, we may not have seen every single day. Or every single cycle, what do they call days there? Is it just solar days, I guess?
I guess, yeah.
We may not have seen every single solar day that they've spent together, but we know that they've spent, what we've seen of them is that they are growing closer, they are bonding, they are a family, and they are really together and in on making sure that all of them stay safe.
So I think the episode that the not the control collar, but the thing that was keeping Moya from conceiving was broken in episode 10. They've got a secret.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. And so basically over the course of 10 episodes, we've gotten 6 months, I guess, for the crew.
Yes.
So that's interesting. And I'm curious now that we've gotten so far with this 2-parter, I'm really curious about what the next 2 episodes hold, because this felt like it could have been a season finale.
For sure. For sure. So now we.
So
you
yeah,
know,
I'm very curious about what the next 2 episodes are going to mean.
I mean,
and of course, I don't remember off the top of my head.
No, he doesn't at all. I mean, and I see the episode titles, which mean nothing to me, so I don't know.
Right. Anyway, we will definitely be back with those next 2 episodes. We're actually going to be filming them tomorrow night, our time. You'll see them, a week out, as always. But, man, I'm excited to get to the end of this first season.
So excited about this.
Now, just so you know and can plan accordingly, we're probably going to take a break after we finish the season, maybe for a week or 2, because it's going to be falling around the holidays. We're going to take a week or 2 to just sort of enjoy the holidays as much as we're able. I know you're having to work, so, not so much. But we'll take a little bit of time off, and then we'll be back with season 2.
Yep.
If you follow us on social media, we'll announce it there.
Absolutely.
So be sure and do that. Anyway, that's it for us. Yeah. Again, if you want to see the full unedited version of this reaction, you can find that at Patreon. That link is always down in the description. Until then, until next time.
Bye.
Bye.